the city of New York, Boricua from the Bronx.
A couple of days ago, I was listening to the Jocko podcast, and they were talking about what you can do if you find yourself in a violent or dangerous situation. They hit the usual talking points, such as situational awareness and how to avoid being trapped in that scenario to begin with. For instance, if you're getting on a bus and see a bunch of drunk dudes acting crazy, then just get off the bus. As they went on through that scenario, they further shared another story, but this one really irked me. One of their training partners was with his girlfriend, and some random guy slapped her on the butt. The boyfriend then proceeded to expeditiously punch and knock out this perpetrator. So I can relate to this story. One time I was with my then girlfriend at Webster Hall when this guy tried to grab her hand. Really big guy, tall dude. So I shoved him really hard and he fell off balance and he hit the bar. Then he got up and he looked at me and I looked at him. Now before we got to scrapping, all the bouncers showed up and one of them asked if there was a problem. Now we both want to continue enjoying our night. I don't want to get kicked out. I don't want to get into a scrap with the bouncers. So I said no. And the other guy looked at me and he said, no problem. And he walked away. In the aforementioned case where the guy knocked the guy out, they said that this dude had to spend 3 days in jail and paid about $8,000 in legal fees. That's messed up. If somebody sexually assaults you or your partner, I feel that you have the right to defend yourself and to take appropriate action for that violation. So the question then becomes, at what point is enough enough? When are you allowed to defend yourself or your loved ones without you yourself having to go to jail? Why should you get in trouble for knocking a guy out when he touched your wife or girlfriend's butt? As they spoke on, they both said that this was not the correct thing to do. But I have to ask myself, what is? The only thing I can think of is maybe calling the cops and having the guy arrested for sexual assault. But it's not like he's going to stand around and wait for you to call the cops. So what else is there to do when the assault happens right then and there? What are you supposed to do? What is it that we as men or people in general in society are supposed to do when a stranger comes out of nowhere and slaps your girlfriend in the butt? When my wife was assaulted, the cops told me if you had found that guy and you had tried to detain him or, defended her or assaulted him somehow, we'd have to arrest you too. Why? Why? I feel like there are things you can avoid and walk away from. But as the boyfriend said, this guy crossed the line by putting his hands on his woman. He didn't just try to grab her hand or something like that. He slapped her in the butt. That is some high-level disrespect. And in my opinion, I think that knockout was 100% justified and he should have never been arrested. What are your thoughts on this? Do you agree? Do you disagree? And what could you possibly suggest that I, as a man, or you as a woman, or whoever you happen to be, what is it that we're supposed to do when somebody disrespects on that high level? Thanks for listening.
You are listening to the NYC Talking podcast. www.nyctalking.com. Please like NYC Talking on Facebook. Please follow Angel R Talk on Twitter and Instagram. We are NYC Talking, the realest lifestyle blog ever. Thanks for listening.